And we're live.
Yes, we are live. Good to see you, man.
How are you this morning?
I'm super duper. I'm actually a little tired, but I feel energized now that I'm with you because you give me energy. So
well, same here. And I just off air, we just learned. I learned how to look as ripped as you. So
well, thanks. I don't know how to respond to that. Let's get started, and then I'll respond to that.
Welcome to the Real Investing Show. I am Taylor Davis, and I am here with the one and only Stephen Earp. How are you?
I'm doing super great. So good to see you, man.
Good to see you. All right. So do you want to go ahead and respond to that, or are we just skipping over the?
No, I can if you want. So I noticed yesterday I was working with some colleagues in the last couple of days, and what I noticed was when someone compliments me on something like that, or like compliments me on, I don't know, like you look good, you lost weight or something like that. I don't handle it very well.
You have to deflect.
I don't know what to do with it. No, I don't deflect. But what I do sometimes is I'll just say something outrageous that like shocks everybody and changes the timbre of the room. And
like
kind of
we need to start the intro.
Like, yeah, exactly. Or like, well, if you think my shoulders look great here, you should see with my shirt off, and it's like, oh, that's not awkward, And so, but yeah, so I'm not very good at receiving compliments, but thank you for your kind words. So,
well, let's get into talking more about you. And you've got a recent deal that you just you closed, or you've put on the market, and so we want to dive into the details on this.
Sure.
And so someone can kind of walk through what you just went through. So tell me, where's the property, approximate location, and how'd you find the deal?
Okay, great. And if you're watching, by the way, let us know who you are and where you're from. And if you have questions or comments about real estate, let us know in the comments. So this deal we found off of running some Facebook ads. This was a guy in the far southwestern part of Oklahoma City. So the house is on a street called Windscape Avenue. And it's in kind of a middle-class neighborhood and almost like a suburban type neighborhood, but it's in Oklahoma City limits. And we found this deal by running Facebook ads that basically said, we'll make an offer on your home. We buy houses, things like that. Just kind of a generic Facebook ad. And it actually came off of we ran ads and we engaged with this guy and dripped on this guy for like 9 months, maybe 6 months. I mean, it was a long time. And he, like when he reached out to us, it was like December or something, initially, then we didn't hear from him in a while. And 6 months later, he messaged us back through Facebook Messenger and said, do you guys still want to buy houses in my area? And we were like, yes, we do. What's the deal? So,
okay. So you run some Facebook ads, you get some leads, and this is where a lot of, and I'm going to go realtors mess up, in my opinion, is realtors oftentimes think, and I think real estate investors do the same thing. They think they have a lead problem when they really have a nurture problem, right? Like they have a lead follow-up problem.
Yes.
Because when you ran all of these leads, how many leads in the month of December? You were getting dozens, if not hundreds. Of leads.
On the Facebook ads, maybe 100 leads. Maybe 150. And most of them were terrible, but yeah.
Right. And now you've got to kind of sift through that, and you got to follow up, and you continued to follow up long enough that he remembered you top of mind when he was actually ready, which is half a year later.
Yeah. And by the way, I think of this like, think about lead development as a pipeline. In the beginning, when you first start doing something, imagine you have a tube. If I had a whiteboard, I would draw this out, but you have let's say a PVC pipe, and you're putting leads in one direction and you're getting out profits in the other direction, but the pipe has holes in it. So at every level of your lead development process, you're losing leads. Like these people don't respond. These people left a bad phone number. These people really want to sell, but they want too much money. These people aren't, aren't ready yet. And so you lose some of your leads. So the thing is, when you first get started, in order to make money on the other end, you have to do tons of work. You have to do put lots of leads in the front of the pipeline,
so that you get a couple that pop out the back end where your profit is.
Yeah. And what happens is, like in the case of this guy, with respect to our, with respect to our overall lead process, it was like, now we're still getting leads, like good leads, and we're getting deals happen off of leads we ran 6 months ago, 9 months ago. Right. So there's a compounding effect. So in the beginning, it's like you gotta hustle real hard to get deals right now. And that's for any kind of sales, by the way. I used to do sales training, and it's like, if you want to eat this week, you're gonna have to sell something this week. But the longer you're working at sales, the more you get business that you've been following up on for 9 months or a year.
Right. And I don't know what the exact number is for real estate investor leads, but I know for like primary homeowner leads, like on the realtor side of things, the average internet lead has a 3% conversion rate with an 18-month average close rate. So like and when the lead comes in, it's probably about 18 months before they're going to close.
Wow.
And so there's a nurturing to this. And, it takes a year and a half just to start seeing the result in a lot of cases. So, okay. So you got the deal. So he reaches out and he says, do you want to buy it? And you said, what was the next step?
Yeah. So the first step, he told us, he was like, here's my bottom dollar. I have to have $165,000 cash this month. That's what he said.
Okay.
And we were like, okay, well, we might be interested. We're very interested in looking. We're very interested in talking. And then we just developed a relationship more, and we listened to his story. So for one thing, that's very specific. Here's his price. He says he's hard on it. He has to have cash sale, which means there's probably something wrong with the deal. Right. And it has to be this month. Well, that's all very specific. That's a very specific buyer that can do that. And then, so what I did is I just got in the conversation to see what is it that's motivating him. Why does he need to sell? Why does he have to have cash? Why does it have to be right now?
Is this via text? Is this via phone call, or is this in person?
It was via text, and my goal is to get face-to-face as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Now, I know that many real estate investors, if they're running with like sales teams and acquisition leaders and stuff like that, maybe they have a different process.
Right.
For me, in my local area, I prefer to get face-to-face, either me or my daughter or son-in-law, to get face-to-face with the person as quickly as possible, because I really want it to be a win-win. I want to be the best solution for them. I want to look in their eyes. I want to see if there's what's behind the eyes. Is there any sadness there? Is there any anger there? Are they nervous? Is it really the best deal for them to sell to an investor? Or can they just slap a coat of paint on the house and list it on the MLS and make $40,000 more? So
I think one of the things that you bring to a table that I think a lot of people have a perception of what a real estate investor might be, and they're not always the most trustworthy.
Right.
And then you are coming in and you're able to establish trust quickly, correct?
Yes.
Just in connecting with someone.
Yeah, but I can build rapport quickly. It's kind of natural for me, but it's also learned. Anyone can learn it, but for some people it's easier. You're also 100%. Good at that. You're also good at that. We do it different ways, but I kind of come at it from this hey man, I just kind of want the best for you. And I live in this area. I've been in this area 47 years. I'm just an old dude. Here's my phone number and my address. You can Google me. It's kind of I can't rip you off. Because I have my grandparents grew up here. So right. I kind of you in my perspective is you have the good people skills, but you also have kind of a more professional vibe that you put off that causes people to trust you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the way you engage with people, the way you carry yourself, I feel like is very professional. And so we kind of have a different way of going about it, but building rapport quickly is important.
Yep.
You can learn it. And I think a big key in that is to actually care about people.
100%.
To actually care that they do the right thing. Because, in the 1960s, there were these psychologists, sales and marketing started learning like socio-psychological manipulation from like the 1960s. And so what you have is you had these like Neanderthal used car dealers that would come out, they would crawl out from the cave with their stick, and they would hit people, and they're like, well, what do we got to do to get you in this deal today? And then you pretend to leave, and then they're like, well, hey, my manager said we can do a one-time deal for you. It's only good today. My opinion is all of that is a bunch of crap, and people see right through it. People are way more sophisticated now. All they have to do is search for things online.
Yeah.
And by the way, those sales tactics, those sleazy sales tactics of socio-psychological manipulation and pressuring people into buying things they don't really want, those sales tactics were so effective that every state in the United States now has laws that protect consumers, like a 3-day right of rescission on certain type of purchases or things like that.
Right.
And so like the government protects us against those kind of tactics, but a lot of people still want to use them. Honestly, I think the best sales tactics today are to be honest, be authentic, be vulnerable, be kind, just listen. And if your deal is not the best deal for them, then let them go somewhere else and help them find that.
And when you have, okay, it's not the easiest mindset to have that when you're in desperation. Right?
Agreed. Yep.
But when you actually gain the mindset of, and truly believe this, of the more people I help, the more I get what I want, right?
Yes.
I can help more people get what they want. I'll get what I want, and through that, then it becomes genuinely, what are your goals? What are your motivations? Because, I want to get back into this deal. So 165 is what he says. I got to have cash. It's got to be 165. A lot of people would go, I can't do that. And they would walk away. What did you do?
Well, we pulled the comps to look at the value. And we're like, at the time, it looked like max, if the house is nice and like fixed, it looked like it might sell for 180. Yeah. And I was like, so there's no margin there for an investor. If we buy it for 165, just listing it with a realtor, we're going to have $10,000 in fees. And so, closing costs and all that. And so it's like 165 doesn't work for any investor on this deal. And so then I started learning, I got to know him face to face. And here's the story. Dude is a sad story. And I let him tell his whole story. I just listened and mirrored. And I was like, I just cared for him. Like, I legitimately just gave empathy. Right. Because I'm a human being. Like, this guy could have been my uncle. And he basically was like, here was his story. He had a chronic illness, that he had some like tremors. There was a history of some substance challenges with some of his kids. He had had a tragic divorce. He was retired. He no longer could work. And he had kids in and out of his house. He did not have the strength of personality to tell them to leave. And he had people in his family that had gone to payday loan places and signed his name and signed him up for like $20,000 of payday loans. So he had,
which we thought 7% interest rates were high. Payday loans are a little higher.
Some of his loans were like 35 to 50%. I don't even know how it's legal, but like dozens of small loans. And he had family members doing it. And he just didn't have the emotional fortitude or the mental health ability, like, to tell them, number one, this is illegal. Number two, you can't do this anymore. Number three, get out of my house. So like, I would go over there and he would have a couple of kids like doing all kinds of stuff in the back room. And it's like, and so you get the idea. And these loan sharks are calling this poor gentleman like every day. And he's like, I have to get rid of it. I have to get rid of it. I have to get rid of this house. I have to get out of this house. And I don't know what to do with these kids. And I'm going to get in trouble. And the police come here sometimes and all this stuff. And
so he really didn't need 165,000 cash. What he needed was a opportunity. Like, he needed to pay off these loans.
Yep.
And he really wanted to not have the house anymore as a way to kind of force him to do what he probably wanted to do anyhow.
He needed to get his kids off of his back and out of his house. He needed a new place to live. He needed his debts paid off. And he needed someone immediately to call his debtors and get them off his back. So that's what I got to the bottom of it. I said, so what you need, if I could do today, if I could get all of your debtors off your back, if I could figure out a solution where you didn't have these people coming in and out of your house all the time, and if I could get you in a new place, that's really what you want. And if I could do that, you would do that today or soon, or would you need to think about it?
Right.
He said, if you could do that, I would do it today. And I said, well, I need to put some numbers together and come back to you.
Okay. And how'd you do it?
So here's what I did. I usually make 3 offers when I'm offering someone a deal on a house. And I offered him 3 offers this way. And every offer works great for me, but it gives him offers. And then I tell him what his other options are. I said, number 1, if you can fix the house did need, it needed a lot, but it needed cosmetic. It needed a lot, but it needed a lot cosmetic.
Right.
The bones were there. The roof was good. Heat and air was good. But like, we probably had an exterminator come out 6 different times because of the bugs.
Yep.
Okay.
I can smell that house right now.
Yep. But like, so it was for us, it was a $20,000 rehab. For someone else, it was probably 40. You get me?
Right.
But so I said, so here are my options. I said, for one thing, if you can do the painting, if you can do the cleaning, if you can kick these kids out of here, you can put it on the market and you'll probably make $40,000 to $50,000 more on this house than selling it to someone like me. I can introduce you to a realtor. We work with some great realtors in the area. They can list it. The market is real hot right now. You can sell it on the market, but it's going to cost you probably this amount of money, and you're going to have to do this kind of work. And here's a list of the things that you should do.
And he genuinely did. So this is, I want to pause real quick. This is where a lot of my realtor colleagues don't understand, is they think that investors oftentimes take advantage of people when in actuality, that's not what he wanted. Yes, he could have gotten more money. Yes, he could have gone on market and ended up more money in his pocket, but that doesn't solve the problem that he really needs fixed. He needs the loan sharks off his back. He needs some cash today, and he wants to walk away from this as soon as possible.
Yes.
Like that's a very different goal.
Yeah, so, he was stressing so hard. You could see it in his face. You could see it in his eyes, and he even teared up when, like, I was sitting there and realized this is a guy who's been worn out, drug out, and he would get calls from these. And these loan shark places, bro, when they get on your phone,
they don't play around.
They treat you like trash.
Yeah.
And like this guy, he was just broken down. And so, I told him, here are your options with a realtor. And then I said, if I buy it, I'm going to have to make money on it, and I'm going to have to make a lot of money on it.
Right.
And I said, so option number 1, if we buy this for cash, I think I told him we'd give him like 100 and maybe 100,000. I don't remember. It was low. All
cash, close quick.
Yeah. All
most
cash.
Convenient, least amount of money.
Yeah. Least amount of money for
because
me.
It costs you.
Yeah.
You're liquid, or you've got to be able to tap into your money. Anyway. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, I'm taking all my cash and putting it in the deal is what we're doing. So it was like, and he owed about 80 on the house, So it may have been, we may have even offered him 95. Like, it was somewhere like that. The next offer I offered him, I said, option number 2 is I will take over your payments on the house. We call this a subject to, so taking the property subject to. You deed the property over to us. And we can talk about subject to more at another show maybe, or sometime. Or if you want to go there now, we can. But we could you deed the property over to us. I will make the payments on the property. I will take care of all of your loan sharks. We will talk to them. You sign a power of attorney. We will talk to them. We will send them like legal letters that they cannot contact you again. We will pay off all of those debts. We will negotiate them down, or we will pay them off. And when you move out, we'll give you $10,000. And during this time, we're making the pay. So we move you out, and then we're working on the house, doing the rehab while the loan is still in your name. And then we'll put it on the market. I said, option number 3, give me 5 years with the house, and I will take over the payments, and over the 5 years, I'll pay you $30,000. So like, in other words, I gave him 3 options and I said, I will do any of these options you want. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm saying on the options?
So we'll do let's do a real quick cap on, and we can dive deeper into this, but with a subject to, what that means is you're buying it subject to the existing mortgage.
Yes.
And so a lot of people that don't understand how this works feel like this has to be illegal or unscrupulous. And it's really not. What you're doing is, because you're notifying him of how this is going to work, he's still on the loan. He still, at the end of the day, he still has a responsibility to that loan, yet you're making a commitment to him that you're going to take over those payments. And you move the property from whatever it is currently deeded into a trust. And then that trust sets you up as the trustee, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the kind of, we can go in on another episode, dive a little deeper into how you structure that.
Yeah.
So, and this is the option he chose, correct? Was the short term.
He chose the short term. So what we did is we dealt with all of his debtors, which took a lot of work, but we got him way down. In other words, we beat him up. We were like, I sent him notes. I was like, hey, listen, you guys have been calling this guy. Let me tell you what's going on with him. He's got this happening, this happening, this happening, this happening. He's eventually going to have to file bankruptcy. And so I'm gonna offer you 20 cents on the dollar on his debts. But you have to stop contacting him right now. Like we dealt with like 20 or 30 like that.
Yeah.
And so the amount he probably owed $22,000 in those loan shark things. And then we got him down to like 10 or 11,000.
Okay. So you take over the loan, you pay him $10,000, you pay $10,000 or $10,000 or $11,000 in his debts.
Yeah.
So you've got 105 maybe? Is that
in it? Yeah. Probably 105 in it at that point. And then we also, by the way, like he had no money. Like, so we helped him move. We hired movers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
we problem solved everything that he wanted problem solved. And he got exactly what he wanted while you got equity.
Yeah. We helped him find an apartment that he would qualify for. Like, and so we get the deal and we're in it for 105, 110, something like. We probably put 20,000 in it.
Okay.
20 for a rehab. We put some sweat equity into it. Like my daughter and son-in-law actually did some of the work themselves. And my new wife and I did the landscaping ourselves because she likes it. And we did like staged landscaping, So
I noticed you just said y'all did the landscaping because she likes it.
Yeah, exactly. I may have a little bit of sunburn and a little sore back from that, but yeah.
Okay, so you put $20,000 in it, and give me a real quick kind of what did you do? So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, kind of standard home built in like the 80s, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's 1,500 square feet. I think. So we had to replace one interior door, replace all the carpet, put new tile in entryway. We updated a new design on the fireplace so it wouldn't look like it was from the 1980s, but that cost almost nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
We did new countertops. The things that cost big money were new countertops. We put granite countertops everywhere. It was either quartz or granite. I don't remember.
Okay.
We did, the floors, is a high expense. We removed the popcorn ceilings.
Okay.
We retextured the ceilings. We painted the whole thing and we did all those minor things. And we replaced the cabinet doors.
That's a great hack.
Yeah.
Looks like brand new cabinets, but you kept the boxes and you only had the expense of the doors.
Oh my gosh. Cabinet doors are so cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that. We also,
what kind of flooring did you go with?
We went with carpet throughout.
Okay.
But we kept the tile that was in the kitchen. We put ceramic, we put tile in the entryway and tile in the bathrooms. Okay. And in one of the bathrooms, we used an epoxy paint instead of tearing the bathroom out, we used an epoxy paint on the walls
on the tile.
And it was like beautiful and hardcore, like super solid. Yep. So I think we may have replaced a couple of toilets, but that was and then we did a little bit of landscaping outside. We spent $500 on landscaping and 6 of my hours. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I need more exercise anyway. So
honestly, the landscaping is, people focus on a lot of expensive things.
Mm-hmm.
Landscaping is one of the highest dollar for dollar returns you can get. I think on average, it's about $4 for every dollar you spend is what they say that you'll get a return on, because curb appeal is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with
that. Okay. So you do this rehab. Yeah. Now what?
Okay. Then, Tuesday morning, we got a referral from a good realtor friend of ours named Taylor Davis to take professional photography, to take professional photos, because professional photos is worth it. And
100%.
And then I thought for 5 minutes that I might for sale by owner it. And then I thought, I'm not doing that. I do not want to deal with this house anymore. And so I called Taylor, I called you, and I said, man, can you please list this house for me real fast? And you said yes. So, and now we're kind of like the ball's in your court a little more.
Yep.
And what I do, here's how I work with realtors, so you guys realize. And I've bought and sold maybe hundreds of houses. If you count wholesales, I've done hundreds of houses.
Sure.
And I bought and sold and held, I don't know,
dozens and
dozens.
Yeah.
But when I go to list something, I want to find a realtor that is a professional. I prefer that they also are investors, someone that is high performing, someone that is getting deals done. I don't want someone that sells 4 houses a year. I want someone that sells 4 houses a month or 10 houses a month. Like, I want someone who's like closing on deals all the time. And when you find that person, like, I want to trust what they say. So here's the way the conversation went with Taylor. So I got a hold of my realtor, Taylor Davis, and he said, what are the details on the house? And he said, how much do you want to list the house for? And I said, listen, bro, I trust you. I would trust you with my money, with my kids, with my wife. You're a pro. You tell me I want to sell the deal. I want to make as much as I can. I think it's probably worth 185, 180, 185, 190 maybe. I'm not sure about that, but I need you and your team to tell me if there's anything I missed on the place, if there's anything I need to change, and what I need to list it at, and when I need to. So that's what I did. So
yeah, because you called me on a Tuesday and you said, I want to list this thing as fast as possible. My advice came back as, hey, let's do a coming soon, and we're going to list on a Friday. And there's so when you find a realtor that really knows their market and knows how to sell houses, they know little things. And I will say this, the difference between a average realtor and a great realtor is nothing major. It's a lot of little things. Right. It's just a lot of these little details that's like, well, if you list it on a Tuesday versus listing it on a Friday, you're going to be several days on market before the majority of people are able to go see it and before you're going to get the biggest wave. So I would rather do a coming soon where we're kind of teasing people with it. And then on Friday, we launch it. It's like, okay, now you can come. And then we've got, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the goal would be you've got, in a market like today, goal would be to try to get multiple offers. If you don't, then we do a price adjustment and you do it quickly because you don't want to wait too long. And so like you look at, one of the things that I think a lot of people do when they're pricing is they look at past sales. And that is important. That is an important piece because that's how you're going to look at it from the appraisal perspective. But a buyer doesn't care what something sold for 6 months ago. A buyer cares about what they can get. What is the best thing I can get on the market right now with the money I have, right? Yeah. And so they look at it through the perspective of what's available on the market. So if your agent is just pulling sold comps, whether it's an appreciating market or a depreciating market, they're missing, right? Because I remember when I got in this business in 2008, I could look at comps from 6 months back and go, hey, it's worth 100,000. But then I have to look at the comps now and go, well, it's only worth 95, and so you have to look at what is out there. And, I like on this, I pulled, one of the reasons is it's actually kind of a stretch for the neighborhood. We're talking about doing 189.9.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a stretch if you look at past comps in the neighborhood. Yet if you zoom out 2 miles and you have $200,000 to buy a home, there are 2 other houses that are comparable to it. And this is bigger than bigger than one and nicer than another. So in either way, I'm at the top in that area, so always, if your realtor comes out with a cell phone, it's time to get a different realtor. Like if they're coming out to take pictures with a cell phone, professional photos, you're paying a professional, make sure they're paying a professional, because professional photos will drastically shift the amount of money you get, because you're building a perceived value. And people usually don't, although nowadays they are starting to. Usually people don't buy online, but they'll absolutely eliminate online.
Yeah.
And my job as the listing agent is to get as many people through the door as possible.
Yeah. So if you just for proof of concept on that, just go to Zillow and just scroll through some areas, and you'll see like there are some house listings that it's like, it looks like they literally took the picture off the county website or off of like Google Maps or something. And it's like, really? You can't see anything? And
I've seen them in the MLS, because I get alerts every day for new listings, and I kind of click through to stay up to market. I don't know how many times I've seen it where it's inside, they're inside the car. The car is probably moving a little bit because it's blurry. And like on the edge of the photo, you see like part of their door, their car door. I'm like, you couldn't even get out of your car.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
Not all realtors are equal. And so that's why, honestly, for a long time, I didn't deal with realtors much at all. I had a bad taste in my mouth some, but if you find the right ones that are doing enough volume, like you get good at something by practicing. But if somebody only lists 3 houses a year, how good can they be? And so anyway, that's what we did. So some good insight from you on listing. So also, you tell me about this. Let me tell you what. So we also staged the house.
Yep.
All
right. Interesting statistic. This comes from the book Shift. It's a little bit older. It's about a 10-year-old stat. But a stat on a well-staged home will sell 50% faster and 17% closer to listing price.
Wow, interesting. Now say those again.
A well-staged home sells 50% faster and 17% closer to listing price.
That's awesome. So stage, and then we actually staged the outside too. And tell me what you think about this. We put in some fall plants because that's what it is right now. So we put in like what's going to look nice right now. We have no idea. And I installed a very inexpensive watering system with a timer, so they wouldn't die, because the weather here in Oklahoma is still like either really hot or really cold. And we used some huge, large pots, like sitting on the front porch and at the edge of the driveway.
Yeah.
Our plan is, if this is not too shady, and I have never done this before, our plan is to take them to the next house.
The pots?
Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely a personal property. It's not real property at all.
Okay, so well, then that's a hack.
You get to take that. Yeah,
that's a hack. That's a hack then, because instead of planting your mums in the ground, you can plant your mums in those ginormous pots and just take them with you. So
absolutely.
That's what we did. But it looks good. Those pots look good from the street. And that's the thing about flower beds and stuff like that. Some plants are real low to the ground. So you either need to build up your flower beds so they show from the street, or you have big pots. And we use those like 3-foot tall pots. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So anyway, I hope
that'll look great. And sometimes, just like if you're an investor and you don't have the money to do a full stage, do a soft stage. Soft staging is you'll decorate the mantle. You may put a photo or a mirror up there and some greenery. You're going to decorate the bathrooms. You're going to have like the rolled towels and some greenery in the bathroom. Maybe a candle. You're going to, in the kitchen, you're going to have a cookbook out, maybe some placemat set up if it's like got a little island or something. Just these little touches that give a little bit of warmth. Because when your eye has nothing to be drawn to, as these pieces can do, then it's always looking for the imperfections, and no house is perfect. Like I walk through new construction all the time, and you'll see all of the imperfections because there's nothing distracting you from it. Once a house is furnished, it's very easy to not think about all these little imperfections. So
well, that's totally ours is probably like midway between a soft, like one bed. We do have like a fake bed in one room. There are ways you can hack your way. Just do a YouTube search on cheap ways to stage a house, and there are all kinds of things you do. I could just say this: don't sit on the bed there. You know what I mean? May or may not be a real bed. So, but it looks really good. So anyway. Great stuff. Thanks for helping us on the house.
Hey, thanks for walking us through that deal, man.
Yeah, maybe when the deal sells, maybe we could do another episode and you could talk about how offers came in and how you negotiated it as our professional realtor and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Thought. And then I can tell you, I can show you the check. Here, we made this much money. So
anyway.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for asking me all about this. Thank you guys for watching The Real Investing Show. We talk about all things real estate and investing in real estate. So if you have questions about real estate, please reach out to me or reach out to Taylor. If you're looking to list a property, I definitely use Taylor Davis's team out of Norman, Oklahoma. And if not, even if you're out of this area, he can help you find the right realtor for you in another area. So I recommend you reach out. But please like, comment, and share this video or this podcast wherever you're listening, and let your friends know about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Taylor, good to see you, my man.
Good to see you. Thanks, guys.
Bye.